The wildcard is active ahead of Gameweek 30, but before we take a look at the latest draft, let's cast our minds back to before the international break, where a score of 21 points minus 4 saw a drop down to 120,000. It was an abysmal game week all round, with very few points on offer. Alphonse Areola was in fact my highest scorer with 3 points. Son and Maddison each created big chances as Tottenham's 39-game consecutive scoring run came to an end at the hands of Fulham. And Ross Barkley clipped the post with one of his 3 efforts against Nottingham Forest. The hit to bring in Ivan Toney didn't pay off, as the Brentford striker failed to return from 2 big chance involvements against Burnley. While Ollie Watkins, kept quiet by West Ham, produced his second lowest expected goals total of the season. So let's move swiftly on to the Gameweek 30 plans, where as mentioned, the wildcard is in play. Here's how the latest draft is shaping up. Dorde Petrovic replaces Andre Onana in the first of 5 changes from last week's wildcard draft video. Establishing himself as first choice between the sticks for Chelsea, the Serbian has impressed since being handed his first start in Gameweek 17 after an injury to Robert Sanchez, who has continued to underwhelm in his 2 FA Cup appearances since returning to fitness. With plans for a Gameweek 37 bench boost, the goalkeeper options are pretty much limited to Petrovic, Onana and Ederson, if you don't want to commit a future transfer. Petrovic is the cheapest of the trio, and has an additional double Gameweek to come, which is likely to fall in Gameweek 36. There's a further change in defence, where Destiny Udogie makes way for Diogo Dalot, who offers a secure route into Man United's backline for ties with Brentford, Bournemouth and Burnley before double Gameweek 37. In part that's down to losing Andre Onana, but it also frees up a Spurs spot to potentially be filled by James Maddison or Richarlison in Gameweek 36, if that's where the additional double Gameweek falls. The midfield is unchanged from the previous wildcard draft, with Alejandro Garnacho set to retain his place alongside Son, Palmer and Salah. The young Argentine has accrued 2 goals and 3 assists across his last 6 league matches, where his tally of 17 shots in the box trails only Foden and Luis Diaz among midfielders. The future plan here is to bring in Phil Foden and James Maddison en route to the Gameweek 37 bench boost, where Bukayo Saka and Mohamed Salah will face single game weeks away to Man United and Aston Villa respectively. The only change up top sees Erling Haaland back in 1 week earlier than planned, with no room for Nicholas Jackson after opting for Petrovic as my 3rd Chelsea asset instead. I still see the Senegal international as an explosive differential, but Alexander Isak provides an alternative forward pick that I can look to bring in ahead of double Gameweek 37, especially if I'm targeting James Maddison rather than Anthony Gordon in midfield. Nevertheless, I expect Jackson to prove popular among Gameweek 35 wildcard users, assuming he's in the clear from the potential 2-match ban that would be incurred if he picked up 1 more yellow card in the next 5 matches. I may look to sell Darwin Núñez after his 2 home matches against Brighton and Sheffield United, with the option to bring him back on the free hit in double Gameweek 34. While Rodrigo Muniz is likely to make way for Rasmus Højlund once funds are available from selling Mohamed Salah closer to the double Gameweek 37 deadline. The final 2 changes from last week's draft come on the bench, where I've been able to retain Gabriel as a placeholder for Kieran Trippier by downgrading Fabian Schär to the cut-price Jamal Lascelles, who looks set for an improved role to end the season following a long-term injury to Sven Botman. Fit again, Mohamed Salah was back on the scoresheet in Liverpool's FA Cup defeat to Man United, and is likely to see off competition from Son and Palmer to secure the captain's armband at home to Brighton, although all 3 are worthy candidates. Jurgen Klopp's side have scored a league-best 38 goals in home matches this season. Let me know your thoughts as always on these changes, and I'll keep you posted with any further updates ahead of the Gameweek 30 deadline via X and Instagram.